This is a Lazy DJ with Vendetta on Air. Welcome to our second episode of Pew Chat Die. Thank you to all who gave feedback over the past week, as well as those who submitted questions for the show. This week we have a special guest, but before I introduce him, what I will say is that his history should actually be really surprising to some, because what I will tell you is that I have caught a lot of shit over this last week. Words like obscure and unknown have come about. I'm continuously asked why I'm not picking players with more history about the game. Now, you've sent me your backstory, and I did read it before doing the promo video. However, I figured I would basically save it for now and let you tell it, since I really did enjoy it. So without further ado, let me welcome our guest, Hawkfeather.
How are you doing?
Not bad, sir, and yourself?
Doing great.
So, my sister, Emo, Fire Kitty X, whatever.
I don't even know how it is.
No one knows what that is. You didn't even make it out of the training sector. You don't even count.
Shut up.
Anyway, she's here in the interview as well.
Hi.
Hello.
So, sir, let's just jump right into it. What year did you start playing VO?
I'm not sure if it was, I think it was near the end of 2007. So 2007 or 2008.
You're such a liar. You put 0605 in the backstory.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not 100% sure. It's a long time ago.
Regardless,
that's probably why you thought it was 9 years before.
Maybe, but it was still actually farther back than when I started, because I didn't start until the end of 2010, 2011.
Yeah, it was a pretty long time ago.
So, what platform did you?
I started on PC. I've always been on PC.
Now, PC Windows, PC Mac, Linux.
I'm a Mac guy. I'm on a Mac, yeah.
Now,
I had a crappy computer back then. Now it's a little better, but Mac all the way.
Well, do you remember the specs of the Mac that you started playing Vendetta Online on?
It was a desktop iMac G5. As far as the specific specs, I'm not sure, but it was like those white honking monsters. Yeah.
So it was just a single G5 then? It wasn't the crazy dual ones that they came out around that time? I think that was like the Pro or something.
No, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
How did you find Vendetta Online? Was it just through a website? Were you looking for games?
Yeah, I was just looking for an online game that would work on a Mac back then, especially. A lot of games now work more on Macs than they used to, but back then it was really hard to find a game that would even run on a Mac. So finding one that was interesting and fun that would work on my computer was the main thing. So I just was looking around for games and happened on Vendetta.
Did you ever play World of Warcraft?
I got the trial, but I'm not a huge fan of tons of grinding, and that's basically all that game is. So
It's just one other of the few other games that was popular back then that worked on a Mac. That's why I asked.
Right, yeah. I know, I definitely tried it, and it probably would have been fun if I'd spent more time on it, but I didn't, so.
Okay. What role did you begin as? A nationalist, a pirate, a trader, or a miner?
So, actually, the first guild I joined was ITAN, and I was a nationalist, which is a little bit weird, maybe, to some people. But I don't know, I was not a very mature player at the time, so I really liked PvP, even though I sucked at it, and being a nationalist was one of the best ways to do that, so I started in that path.
Now, shortly after you started then, you actually founded a guild. I believe you said it was IPS?
Yeah, that was a fun little episode. So, I started off in ITAN, but then I met a pirate in Odia. I decided I wanted to go into Gray Space, be a little adventurous, try to get some better equipment, and I was pretty much immediately destroyed. So, by a pirate, and so I decided, hey, that might be fun. I like shooting people, and but I didn't want to really give up my nationalist stuff that I had been working on. So I left at I-10 and started to form IP. Did I call it IPF? I don't remember.
I have IPS written in the doc.
IPS. No, IPC. That's what it was. The Penny Privateer Charter. That's what it was. And it was like a pirate guild, but with really strict rules about who and where you could pirate. And it was basically supposed to be like a privateering group, I guess. Like a group of pirates chartered by the Italian nation. But it wasn't received too well by the community at the time. At that time, Viper was pretty strong. And so pirate guilds in general were not at their all-time high at that point, just because all the good PvPers were in Viper, and joining a pirate guild was basically putting a big target on your back. So nobody wanted to join my guild, and Viper shut it down pretty hard, so that didn't work out. But then I ended up joining CLM, the Cargo Liberation Movement, and went from there.
And I thought it was funny because you had put into the backstory that once IPC was shut down, you actually weren't allowed back into ITN. But I didn't realize that IPC was pirating, which makes a lot of sense now. But when I was reading it, I was like, oh crap, who did he piss off?
Yeah, no, it was mainly because of the bad reaction to IPC that I guess understandably I-10 didn't want me back. But yeah, I guess I was probably a little bit more inclined to join CLM at that point, just because they kind of had supported it more than anyone else. So
I have it that you were on break all the way from 2009 to 2015, which explains why we didn't meet when I started playing VO as well. Now, what is it that you did during that entire time? Were you into different games? Were you still a gamer, just maybe not PC? What was going on?
Well, I mean, I played a bunch of different games. I still play a lot of different games, but just kind of school, things got more busy in starting from when I quit, and just didn't really have that much time that I had used to have. And then I was actually living in Japan for 2 years, from 2012 to 2014. So, and I didn't really have access to a computer or any sort of games during the time. So there was that. And then when I got back in 2015, I kind of started to explore different games, and I remembered that VO had been really fun and interesting, so I started back into it, and yeah, that's where we are.
How quickly after you came back did you join FAMI?
Pretty quickly. I realized after I came back, I left, but it was still a pretty good member of CLM. And then when I came back, I realized CLM had died and FAMI had kind of replaced. I kind of view FAMI as like the successor to CLM in a lot of ways. They have really quite a few similarities, a lot of similar people. So I joined up pretty quickly.
What are your favorite ships/layouts for the commuting access person?
Can you say that one more time?
What are your favorite ships and loadouts for committing acts of piracy?
Oh!
Okay, yeah. So probably my favorite. Well, obviously the strongest is going to be the Greyhound, just because you can chase down pretty much anything except another Greyhound. With that, I like to use Mega Posse and Sunflare. They're kind of heavy, but that doesn't matter so much when you're flying in a straight line. So if I'm just in pure hunting mode, that's what I'm going to do. Another thing that's fun, if you're hunting down the NPC convoys, you can use what I call the Boy Hunter loadout. You get a Hornet, preferably Mark II because it's infinite turbo, and you give it 4 charge cannons. And if you have the chain fire plugin, you can make them so they fire almost instantaneously after one another. And so it's basically just like a death ray, and you can kill a behemoth in like 3 seconds flat with that. So if they're not running away really fast, that's a pretty effective loadout.
Now, here we get to the forum specific questions. I don't know if you had a chance to read those.
Sure.
Is there any particular flair that you try to bring to the game as a pilot? For example, do you try to hunt in specific areas? Or have any procedures in your conduct with other people? Or do you have any unique RP attributes that you use to make the game more interesting and diverse?
That's an interesting question. I like that one. I kind of try to be more of a civilized pirate, I feel. I follow rules of engagement pretty strictly. I don't get involved in ganks or unfair combat as much. I mean, I do when it's necessary, but I try to stick to more fair combat just because I think that shows your skill as a player a little bit better. Also, it's just more fun for everyone. Nobody gets frustrated that way. I try to be, I mean, I'm a pirate, obviously, so people get frustrated at what I do. But I try to be as cordial about it as possible and make the game more fun than, for example, if everyone's just flying behemoths around space trying to earn credits all the time, I don't think the game would be very much fun. But kind of bringing that player interaction into the foreground of the game is something I try to do a lot. So.
And it's definitely something that I've seen in your gameplay when we do fight or just fly by each other.
Thank you.
So what is one change to the game that would make you the happiest if it was done?
Implemented, but yes.
Don't have to be all smart.
One change to the game.
Or the change that would make you the happiest.
Yeah, that's an interesting question too. I think the one thing that comes to mind is if they release the game on Steam. That's not really a change to the game, but I feel like if they did that, they would get a lot more players that end up sticking with it a lot more. Releasing it on mobile was a big step because a lot more people have started to play it, but they figure out pretty quickly that it's really frustrating to use the mobile controls, and if you want to get competitive on mobile, you have to like get a controller or something. You might as well just play it on PC. But there's already a big Steam community, and I feel like there's a lot of people who would really jump at the opportunity to play a game like this, and they would be able to play at the highest level, I feel. So it's not really I mean, there's a lot of things that I wish would change about the mechanics of the game, but that's the main change I would like to see in the community, is just having more players, and that's the way I think.
I said the happiness would come from the result of the change, basically.
Right, and I feel like if there's more players, they can make more balancing decisions. They can see like more evidence over long time, like lots of time of like what's really good, what needs to be changed, what like stats they could do for new equipment, and also they would make a lot more money, so they could maybe do more with what they have, like to move the game forward. So
next question: why do you think TGFT is so bad at diplomacy?
Well, that's I don't know if I want to comment specifically about things regarding TGFT on this interview. I will generally say that they just got a really diverse group of people, and some of them are very distasteful, and I feel like those distasteful people kind of cast a bad light on a lot of them. There's a few TGFT members that are actually pleasant to interact with, but there's a few that are not, and they kind of ruin it for everyone else. So there's that.
I will say you hit it on the head, sir. TGFT, great in concept, horrible execution.
Who are your favorite opponents and why?
My favorite opponents. This is going to be a pretty ironic answer, I think, but the first one that comes to mind is Galanoth. I think we're relatively evenly matched, although I usually get the upper hand. And I don't know, he fights really well, and he also follows, when it comes to combat, he follows that same code, I feel, that I do, where it's, he's concerned about making it fair rather than just winning. So there's that. As far as people I respect and that I would like to be able to beat someday, Estrian Prosis, Seeger, Football Prophet, Savet Hagar, just like those really good pilots that I look up to and kind of try to emulate my play style.
So, leading into the next question, who are your least? Okay, I'm just going to start it over and edit all that last part out again. Who are your least favorite opponents and why?
My least favorite opponents. Back to the TGFT question. K Beretta. I don't know how you pronounce that. Kenny B. Basically, all he does is fly a Swarmhound and pretend that it's PvP. So Anathema is actually fun because I'm assuming it's a she, I'm not sure, is on mobile, and so the fact that she's able to execute swarm play at a high level that sometimes has beaten me, I'll admit, is interesting. Although Kenny B is just annoying. I usually don't engage with him. There's Zhen is kind of the same way from Itan. Just will fly around, try to get you to chase him, and just never engages in any meaningful combat. So,
did you ever have to chase Pup while he was around?
Chase who?
Pup. He would sit there and Pup, P-U-P, like a little dog. He would go into K9 of the sector and then do system chat and just growl and then wait for players to come and chase him.
That doesn't sound familiar, and maybe I should be grateful.
Yeah, that was an interesting time of VO. It really was.
We have a cat trying to think.
Yeah. Well, as long as they don't sit on the laptop. All right, so this question is from Grizzly Space Bear, and it's definitely modeled after his normal character. Here we go.
Okay.
Hawkfeather sounds like a Native American name. Do you find fighting with moccasins reduces the deafening of your senses of your feet in comparison to wearing regular shoes with thicker, less flexible soles? Does it improve your situational awareness and flying ability? Or do you use a touchpad with your nose and don't care about all that anyways?
Who do you think you
are? Yeah, I mean, moccasins are definitely pretty effective flying tools. They let you press the pedals like really well, I guess. But I do not use a trackpad with my nose, unfortunately. Rar.
Now, what was that rag of death that you were using the other day when you had a trackpad?
Oh, the Rag of Death. That is a Ragnarok, not Mark II, Mark III, just Ragnarok with 2 jackhammers and 3 sunflares.
Oh,
it one-shots a Rev C. So everyone was swarming me with Rev Cs. So I just pulled out a rag, filled it with rockets, and yeah, I took a lot of damage, but when you only need to hit once, it's pretty effective.
Right? All right, Brad, that one's yours.
Don't the feathers impede you in any way when performing difficult maneuvers?
The feathers?
Yes, the feathers.
I mean, I'm a normal human being. That's just kind of my name. So I don't really have feathers, unfortunately. If I had feathers, it probably would, though.
Nice. All right. Oh, Jesus. Cat's like decided to take over the desk. Grab the cat, please. All right, there we go. So last question, sir. What makes you happy when playing Vendetta Online?
What makes me happy? When I'm able to accomplish something, mostly in relation to PvP recently, but when I'm able to learn a new skill or accomplish something that I wasn't able to do before, or just improve at PvP, like see results, like for example, when I came back, I decided that I wanted to start getting really good at PvP. So I talked to Stream Process about it. One thing he suggested was to switch my controls to where I think the default controls W and S are forward and backward, and R and F are up and down. He suggested that I switch that to where W and S are up and down, so it's kind of more of a you have more control over the, I guess, lateral and up and down strafing, and then your direction control is on R and F. And at first I did it, and at first it was ridiculously hard. Like, I felt like I just lost a lot of abilities that I had before, and like all of my habits that I was used to as far as controls, like, just disappeared. But that ended up being a good thing. Over time, like learning how to use that and becoming better, I removed all of those bad habits that I learned 6 years ago or something, and was able to definitely up my game by a lot. So that kind of thing makes me really happy.
Good deal. That's actually a trick that I was taught pretty early into my career at VO or in VO, and so it's definitely
anyone on PC listening to this, if you haven't gotten started into PvP yet and you want to, that's the first thing I would suggest, because it makes it so much easier.
Hell, even for body, it's easy.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, sir. Well, that is it for all the questions I have for you. Before we get to the fighting part, do you have any questions for me?
Not that I can think of.
See, no one cares about Boa or the lazy DJ. he just works tirelessly and keeps on going.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a question, but I would like to say that I really do like everything you've been doing with this channel and trying to promote VO, because I think that kind of leads more into what I was talking about before with Steam, where we get a bigger community. There's content on YouTube and Twitch and things like that, and we could make something happen with it. So
yeah, it'll be really cool. And I actually have a surprise episode coming up in a couple weeks. It's going to be a first of its kind, and I'm not going to spill its guts now. I'm going to leave it a surprise, as much as it's painful to do it, because I'm so damn excited. I know, right?
That's exciting.
I'm pretty excited. I think I already told you though. Don't say anything. All right, so if you will meet me in D2, sir, I figured the Nation War sector is perfect for this.
In Sedina D2?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Right, we've been there before. I was actually just there earlier on the yellow team in a UDV.
Just give me 1 second.
Not a problem. Oh crap, what are you loaded out over there?
Yeah, I just hadn't gotten this set up before. I'm on my way now.
Okay.
All right.
What? No, you chose a core vault?
I did.
Oh.
Hey, you have a prom?
Yeah. I figured you were gonna come in the X1. Or Valk at least.
Here I am. I'm in a core vault.
Okay. Well, I got a surprise for you, sir.
Okay.
In commemoration. Oh, God! Don't rip our headphones out. Okay. In commemoration of our upcoming battle, I've actually written you a song.
You've written me a song. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Can you hear that?
Yep.
All right. This is called. What is it called?
The Hawk Feather song.
No. It wasn't the hawk. I think it was like the melody of the hawk or something. I had a good line pinned for it. I just can't remember it now.
The melody of the hawk.
Not the melody of the hawk. That's lame. The flight of the hawk?
That's better.
I don't know. Okay, the flight of the hawk. Get it? You get it? Did you understand it?
I didn't hear any words. It just kind of sounded like.
Come on, say a chicken.
It sounded like something that I won't say.
Man, it was supposed to sound like a chicken because people call you
Okay.
chicken feathers.
Dying chicken.
That's fine. I mean, whatever. I don't really particularly like that name, but
Well, that was the whole point. That's why we waited until we were gonna fight.
oh, okay. Well, thank you. I'm glad you wrote it.
All right, sir. We'll have fun. Good luck.
You too.
Oh, wait. I can't hear. Okay. Oh, I guess I should help too. So, done.
I'm all nervous and everything now.
I like to try and make music with the Gatling thing. Yeah, I can't get any more of these, so I can't use them very often. Yeah, I got to do something special for the video.
Jeez. I'm assuming you got some sunflower rockets in there.
Yeah, but you know, you only get 12 of those things. Oh, nice dodge.
11. Oh, not nice dodge. 10.
Oh, I'm at 52 already. Alright, gotta change up.
Man, this setup uses a lot of energy. I haven't used it in a while.
Oh, I forgot about your whole Christmas gun spill forever.
Oh, yeah. That Christmas is over.
Right?
It's in, what, 360 something? Oh, okay, nice. That's one thing I like to do is count flares.
It's good in a situation like this, yeah.
That's pretty good, sir. Most people can't hit me with those. Well,
I just hit the roid with those flares. That was a nice explosion.
yeah. Seven. I think. If you want, I won't kill it. But
Oh no, you can kill it. It's okay.
I can save it for you. Oh man, or you can kill me. Trying to get me backed up against the roids.
I was backed up against him earlier.
Ooh.
Bow down.
Good fight, sir.
Good fight, sir. Oh, my eyes aren't that watery yet. All right.
That was effective use of the Gatling cannon.
Yeah, that was fun. Except for with you, I can't be careful with it. With some of the newer kids, I could just like keep a beat going and try to make songs and stuff. Pretend I'm playing Mary Had a Little Lamb or something.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah, I'm gonna admit a little secret here. If you want to put this in the video, you can.
okay.
The SCP is my most feared ship to fight, even more than the X1. I'd rather fight an X1 than an SCP.
I think I will agree with you on that. Because that thing is just a beast, especially when it's used right.
Yeah, I mean, an X1, I guess the fights, when you're fighting X1 dual flare versus SCP with a GAT, it just feels like you're flying the same ship, but they have more armor and an easier to hit with energy weapon. So,
Yeah. All right, well, good deal. Thank you again, sir. Really appreciate it. I had fun. Glad it worked out, because that was hairy there for a minute.
thank you, sir.
Oh, not
Sorry
a
I was
problem.
late.
It was ended up being just fine, because if we had started when I thought we were going to start, we probably would have died halfway through.
Well, I'm glad we made it.
That concludes our... No, now I got to start over. It still says first. That concludes our second episode of Pew Chat Die. Thank you for watching. Feel free to volunteer yourself or someone else for upcoming episodes. Our next guest is going to be Estrian Process. Look forward to the question thread in Promo on the 18th, with the episode being released on the 25th. Don't forget to like and dislike, leave your comments below, and subscribe while you're there. Vendetta on Air is fully supported by your credits to keep events going, so don't forget to send your donations to VOA in Odaya M14. If you're looking for something else to watch, go check out our latest Nation Wars video where I joined the yellow team for once and fight in a UDV. This is Lazy DJ with Vendetta on Air signing off. Oh, I guess you can do that part, but you can't do it. So without further ado, okay, see, that's editing. So I'm just gonna jump to this part, which goes. So without further,
Further is a word.
Okay, what was that one hamburger?
From Wendy's?
Yeah, no, from McDonald's. Don't worry about it.